I think that one of the biggest problems with Arch Linux is not Arch Linux. It's actually the existing Arch users, especially for people who want to get into Linux. And to be honest, if you're an Arch user, you know it's a really, really good distro. Arch as the base Linux is one of the best platforms out there for people who want to experience Linux in its pure entire form, but it's the existing community. And people say that Linux isn't beginner friendly. Honestly, I think it's Linux users are often less beginner friendly than Linux itself. And I'm saying this as somebody who's been driving Linux, Arch Linux, Fedora, Ubuntu, experimented a lot, and now Omarchy for about 3 years plus at this point. And people act like Arch is impossible, but it's not. In 2026, there are distros or there are scripts, quote unquote, like CachyOS, like Omarchy, that exist, that simplify stuff, that simplify the installation process, that simplify the whole ecosystem, that simplify getting into Linux. Hardware support is better. Just 2 years ago, I remember struggling myself with a lot of NVIDIA graphics drivers, for example. Audio drivers were shit, Bluetooth drivers were shit. And a lot of that has come a long way just in the last couple of years alone. Gaming works, man. I game on Arch, Kingdom Come Deliverance, or your other games. Of course, you can't play games like Valorant or multiplayer games, but single player games, they run just fine on Arch. And to be honest, most people aren't compiling kernels out there. They don't need the complexity that people expect. People need beginners should understand before even entering Arch, right? Use Arch manually first is not an advice that I have seen. Most of the advice that I see out there, when somebody asks a question, people say, read the manual, build your own Arch. Have you seen anybody who's, let's say, getting into guitar? Have you seen anybody being told you should build your own guitar if it's the first time you are playing guitar? Nobody says that, right? Nobody asks somebody to write a compiler before they even start using VS Code in their life, or Vim, for example. And nobody tells a photographer to manufacture their own camera before getting into photography. But why do we treat this unnecessary suffering, the rites of passage, if I may call that most of the old Arch users and Linux users have gone through? New ones have to go through it again. It's just like our parents, man. Parents say that they've struggled in their life, so the kids should struggle too. And nobody likes that, right? Do you like when your parents say that? No. Then why, as a community, do we do that to beginners? It's very, very difficult as a beginner to get a straight answer these days. It's very difficult. Certain communities are actually much more helpful. Omarchy is one of those examples, and I really, really like that fact that Omarchy people don't judge you if you're a beginner. They just give you an answer. They put you in the right direction, and that's what kind of pushes. And by the way, if you go to YouTube and you see videos of people who are trying Linux for the first time and they've stumbled across a problem and they've gone to forums and communities to ask questions, those communities have driven those people away because nobody really gave them the answer that they really needed. So being the smartest guy in a Discord channel gets rewarded, but being the most helpful guy doesn't. So yes, the system is rigged in that sense. And Linux YouTube, by the way, contributes to this as well. But to be honest, Omarchy and Omarchy community really changed my mind. And this is one of the big reasons I'm Omarchy fan. And I don't know what gripe you have with DHH. I don't care. I'm using Omarchy. I don't care because Linux is open source. And this whole ecosystem is about doing what you like, what you want to do. So if I don't like DHH, doesn't mean I don't have to use Omarchy. I can build Omarchy or I can build on top of Omarchy the way I want. That's what Linux is about. So batteries included, DHH's opinion is aside, fewer decisions to make as somebody who's busy in their life. That's my Linux experience. Don't mock users, don't mock the beginners, because they are the ones that are going to carry this Linux flag forward.